So I came to New York and DC to show, bring the border, go from the border to where it's actually impacting. And so it's not, every state's a border state, every city's a border city, and everything leads back to Washington, D.C. and New York. You've got the United Nations headquartered in New York. That's the tip of the spear for the evil that's inviting the invasion on our southern border. And obviously Washington, D.C., where you have the politicians that I believe many of them are paid off by the cartels. And that's really where we need to be putting our investigations into the corruption by Joe Biden and the left with countries like Ukraine and China, and into the corruption by the cartels. And so some of that was going to confront some of these politicians. I ran into Shifty Schiff when I was in D.C. Looking for Veronica Escobar and a few others. But it's really to put pressure on them. These guys are traitors to our country. And it just so happens that then now there's an attack on Israel. And now we have Hamas walking our streets while we're inviting Hamas across our border, tying that all together. I know David Zier knows all about this and the whole history here. And then you come to New York. And I went to the Roosevelt Hotel today. I went then to the Hotel actually yesterday and today. And it was shocking.
When's the last time you were in New York City?
Actually this summer. I was here with the girls this summer, but it was vacation.
And did you sense a difference?
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's a sucky, terrible, miserable place to be. And it's sad because the history is so great. DC's the same way. I go there and it's like the history is amazing. And then you walk the streets and you're like, what a miserable place. It's the opposite of what our founders created it to be. New York's the same way. Such a great history, and you go there, and people are just smug, miserable, walking the streets.
You were here when we went out to eat with your family, your beautiful family, right?
Yeah, David was there with me. Yeah. He was a bright light that day.
But there's even such a difference from then until now. It's only like 5 months, right?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Well, and so people don't understand this.
Wait, did you say Zier was the bright light?
Yeah, it's a bright light.
Do you know that we're going to have a new shirt made up for MADA, M-A-D-A, instead of MAGA, and it's Make America Depressed Again?
Oh, he's the guy.
He's the founding member along with me.
Well, he's got some bad news.
He went to what's the matter you?
He brings some bad news, but he always does it in a shiny way.
That's true.
So
that's a good point.
So here's the reality. New York is spending $9.8 million a day on illegals. $9.8 million a day of taxpayer money on illegals. The Row Hotel, which I actually stayed at when I was in college, and I didn't have enough money to stay at a nice place. And it's a decent place. I flew into New York. It was the only place I could find. It was a block off the Times Square, and now 1,331 rooms designated for illegal aliens. You can't even stay there if you want to. Now you come into New York, you can't get a hotel room for under $300, and that's for the crap ones. Anything else is $500 and above. And they just spent $43 million to house these illegals in that one hotel for 6 months. They are planning $12 billion over 3 years. So Joe Biden puts out this garbage, hundreds of billions of dollars, whatever, mostly going to Ukraine. He puts $14 billion in there for the border. Absolute lie. That $14 billion is going to go to pay off guys like Eric Adams, who are being flooded because of the invasion that they invited.
I would never stay in a hotel again in New York City knowing what's going on.
Can you imagine?